Hey, what's up zombies internet, I'm the last Gambit and welcome back to my channel. So before we get into the main topic of this video, what you clicked on, I just want to make a little update about what's coming in the future. So in this week actually, I'm gonna be uploading a video where I go into full detail of me explaining where I've been, what I've been doing. Was I just a lazy ass for not uploading for 2 months and now I'm suddenly back? So I'm gonna go into all of detail about that, so be sure to subscribe and join the zombies internet army and turn on notifications so you'll be notified when I upload that video in the future, and more to come videos in the future, because I'm not quitting, I'm not retiring my YouTube career, I'm still very much here. I can see you crying behind the screen that you missed me. Don't worry, I'm back, I will always be back, and
I always come back.
yeah, that's the entire point. I'm gonna make that video. I do not want to delay the actual main topic of this video because there's a lot to discuss. Let's get into it. Also, to not be that guy, but I'm totally gonna be that guy right now. If you're gonna tell people what they can or can't say, that's very much stupid, and it literally goes against the very definition of freedom of speech. Now, first of all, words, I'm gonna say something very controversial, but words don't cause actual hurt of a human life or hurt of someone. So please stop telling people what they can or can't say because you have no right to. Just like anyone, if they told you what you can and can't say, they have no right to tell you that either. It goes freedom for everyone, not just specific individuals. So yeah, please keep that and bear that in mind. And be a normal human being, not an insane actual maniac and escapee from Arkham Asylum. So the first thing I wanted to discuss is the firing of Gina Carano and basically how the Twitter mob got to her. And basically Gina Carano was an actress who played Cara Dune on the series The Mandalorian, based on the Star Wars series. So basically she got fired for saying these tweets, and I'm gonna read them right now. But if you're gonna be fired for political views, unless they're actually very extremist views on far left or far right, like very far on both of those sides where it actually can get to the idea of hurting people. If it's that far, then yeah, they should just be fired. They're probably terrible people. But if that a person has a different opinion than you, and it's just a normal political opinions, because that's how politics work, then you're a piece of shit who just made someone lose their job for no reason. You literally should be ashamed of yourself. Not proud of yourself, but ashamed of yourself. So let's actually read the tweet. So the first tweet is: "We need to clean up the election process so we are not left feeling the way we do today. Put laws in place that protect us against voter fraud. Investigate every state. Film the counting. Flush out the fake votes. Require ID. Make voter fraud end in 2020. Fix the system." Reading this, I immediately remember what the left was saying back in 2016 when a certain Trump man won. So I don't see why a lot of people who are on the very far left are actually trying to cancel Gina Carano for what she says, because back in 2016 you agreed with the same very points that she has said right now. Now call me crazy, but this is not her expressing any political opinion values over one another. It's literally what I would say that both left and the right and basically anyone in politics should agree with. I mean, call me a crazy internet conspiracy theorist person, but this is actual, objective points that I feel like they should be met. And both and left and right should agree to this, that we want a clean voting thing. I mean, I'm not an American individual myself. I'm a proud Eastern European person, but like, this all makes sense to me. Like, call me clinically insane, but this actually makes sense to me, what she's actually saying. And that leads me to another tweet of another 2 tweets that she said, you can see on the screen, and it says: "They're mad cause I won't put pronouns in my bio to show my support for trans lives. After months of harassing me in every way, I decided to put 3 very controversial words in my bio: bebop boop. I'm not against trans lives at all. They need to find less abusive representation." And the other one is: "I don't think trans people would like all of you trying to force a woman to put something in her bio through harassment and name calling every day for months, such as racist, transphobe, bitch, weirdo, I hope you die, I hope you lose your career, you're fat, you're ugly." To respond to both of these points, I mean, yeah, everyone has the entitled to their own opinion. Every person is their own person with their own looks and beliefs on life. You can't just self-project, your opinions unlike that. A lot of these people who are actually calling her out and sheltered are actually sheltered for one can imagine sheltered 14-year-old white girls who are probably straight, who probably have no ties with, you know, other different diverse people or the LGBT community at all. Because I don't see like a trans person even, you know, caring what Gina Carano has to say, especially if they know their very own person, they're proud and they stand up for who they actually are, like we all should in this world. I don't see them actually caring about this, especially if you're like a trans person who actually has, you know, a thing called life, has a job, you know, lives, you know, actually has friends outside, can actually see the sun outside, who doesn't spend like 24/7 on social media arguing with different forms of people. I don't see them actually getting caring, or especially not getting offended over these stupid things. And I mean, if you want to bring, by the way, if you want to bring someone to your cause, don't, you know, call them racist, transphobe. If you want someone to, I guess, put pronouns in their bio, even though that's one of the most irrelevant things, and it's literally making a fuss about nothing. This is literally the definition of the word making a fuss about nothing. It's bringing into politics someone's life where they don't want it to have. And, you know, you don't need to put pronouns in your bio to show support for trans life. There's other ways to do so. And, you know, basically bullying someone for months and months on end isn't gonna get them on your side, by the way. That's how conflict between people start, that's not how you unite people. I mean, of course, I'm sorry, that's how unification works. We should attack and bully other people, and that's when they'll be with me. Because logic, I don't know. This entire point is literally boils down to retardation, actual retardation of certain individuals, specifically on Twitter. And it's another thing that was recently, and especially lose your job over this, your literal livelihood, your work, something that should be far distant from social media or your political beliefs, somehow gets you fired. And then you have other actors, who I'm not gonna call out here, expressing also their political views, even though they're completely inaccurately portrayed to actual fact in history. That can slide, but this can't slide. I mean, it's very form of hypocrisy, and it's literally choosing one side over the other. And it's very terrible and highly illogical, and especially for someone to lose their job over that, that's just bullshit, man. But there is a good side of, like, you know, having these sorts of cancellations, for example, Amber Heard. But for some reason, her cancellation is not doing anything. She constantly gets new jobs, and Johnny Depp's name still being dragged through the mud. Even though most of people, I'm guessing most of the world is on Johnny's side, but for some reason, he's still one getting fired from everything, and Amber apparently is gonna be in the new reboot of Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, talk about the little kick in the balls. It literally shows where Hollywood is at this point. And it's awful. And it's not just Hollywood, it's all of entertainment, be it video games, movies, TV shows, whatever. And I'll get to that point in just a second, but this is basically more on the side of, this is very much identity politics at its worst. If a person wants to be part of the identity politics discussions, they will be. If they don't want to be, don't force them into it. You'll just make them go away further. Think about this. Maybe Gina Carano wanted to eventually get into that political discussion, identity politics, get her opinions out there. Maybe even put a bios to support, put in pronouns in their bio. But now that you bullied her to death, she has no reason to do it. It's literally stupid. It's literally think before you speak, my guy. Think before you speak. Especially on social media, your word will be recorded and evident forever. There's no removing it. You can delete it, but it'll always be saved. So it's very stupid. It's very stupid. So another point that I wanted to, you know, go over is the one I actually really cared about. It's art in video games and identity politicos. 6 days in Fallujah reveals the gaming industry's Islamophobia problem.
You're a liar! You're a liar!
This literally reminds me back into the late 2000s where we had Jack Thompson trying to cancel Rockstar Games and GTA for, you know, being Rockstar and GTA for making well quality games that people enjoy and like to play. Like, what the hell? So I've seen the trailer, I've done my research. Basically, 6 Days in Fallujah is a tactical first-person military shooter that will explore a real-life event that happened. They're actually getting veterans and actual Navy people who are actually in this wars, and it's basically the armed forces of the US and the UK and a lot of Arabic civilians who were also part of this war, and they were fighting these terrorist people, and it was in the early 2000s, so I can't remember the exact every detail about them. The developers literally expressed that they're gonna show like a brutal and dark side of the war, where the war actually, believe it or not, isn't a black and white good versus evil thing. It's a very it's one of the most gray conflicts to ever exist. Sure, yeah, World War II. The only point is, World War II is the only war you can pinpoint say they were good guys and they were bad guys. But even if you do more history and more research into all of that, you'll find there's a lot of gray area in World War II too, that I feel like isn't really getting explored in any form of entertainment. It's always, let's defeat Nazis and stuff like that. Even World War II to that extent has been very simplified to appease a certain demographic of crowds, which is very stupid. You should not ignore history. In this game, I mean, if a developer, be it a AAA or indie, wants to make a game and they feel like it's their passion, it's a story they want to tell, and if it's plot logical, it has barely any plot holes, it's well-developed characters, it's consistent characters, it's great world building, and you know, it's just a great game all around. It's well-developed, it's well-programmed, there's no issues, it's not a cyberpunk.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
It actually has also good gameplay, and maybe can even be a Game of the Year contender. Then let it be a Game of the Year contender. Let it be a great game that it is. Don't try to bring, you know, your specific politics that you support into it. A developer shouldn't be obliged to what you want from them. They should make whatever the hell they want. Now, do I agree with certain like video game companies bringing into politics in their products? Not really, but that's never my main point of criticism when I would criticize a movie, TV show, or a game. Like, I wouldn't say, oh, this game supports this and this, therefore that's the only reason why it's bad. No. Why is the story bad? Why are the characters bad? Why is the plot bad? Does it have issues, contrivances, holes? Is it a broken-ass mess of a game like Batman Arkham Knight on PC or, again, Cyberpunk? Or it's lacking in gameplay? Is it just a microtransaction-filled machine? All of these are actual objective issues with a video game specifically. And some of these are actual movie and TV shows issues minus, you know, the gameplay and, you know, microtransaction, because it's a movie and a TV show. It doesn't have gameplay. So, every time as I see this, it makes me cringe, because video games, movie, TV shows are art made by people who want to, you know, make a story their own, make a story they want to tell. Now, is it good? Is it bad? From a subjective take, again, I guess that's on you what you think, but from an objective take, if a game or a movie has politics and you disagree with them, that doesn't make it a bad game or story. And all of those people complain like about that are actual mentally retarded. From both sides of the angle. If a game is more, let's say, right-leaning with its politics, the left going insane saying it should be cancelled, you're retarded. And that's the reason why. And a lot of people are complaining about it. A lot of people are playing video games based on politics specifically. A lot of people bought Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War specifically because you can play as a non-binary person. A lot of people bought God of War when the developers announced that Kratos is bi. So, if that is your only reason why you play video games, and you're only gonna play video games that appeal to your ego and your politics, then you're a retard. That's literally stupid, and it's literally showing a very dangerous agenda that if it proves to be successful now, it can tarnish the gaming world and movie landscape in the future. Well, we only have a certain type of voice, only cited certain type of individual based on their certain beliefs will only be able to create art and create stories and create games. They won't be it's actually anti-diverse what I'm saying here if you think about it, and for the left, it's literally against their own code what they're trying to represent. And this world is a big place, different people, different cultures, it's definitely diverse, so if a person has a different political view on it, and they have a means and a form to tell a great story through a game, movie, or a TV show, or just make something awesome piece of content that you get to enjoy, then let them make it. Don't be a retard, be a normal individual. Also, it's an attack on video games. It's not another form of video game cause violence. No, I don't think if a person plays 6 days in Fallujah will become an Islamophobe and actually hate Muslim people or become a certain racist. Again, no objective facts or evidence as ever linked with mentally disabled people who go out shooting people, or are actual racists or joined because they played a video game or they watched a movie. And if you're gonna bring up the video game point, but you can support a rated R movie, then again, that's a you issue, my guy, and that's you showing your hypocrisy. Now, should there be politics in a game that does not require it? For example, the undertones in Star Wars The Last Jedi. I mean, that's a movie, not a game, but you get what I'm trying to say. No. If you're already pre-built world and universe that you're in already has inside of its own politics, for example, like the Old Republic or something like that, then explore those in-universe politics. That'll make sense once you explore those politics, because every video game, movie, TV show that has any form of world building most likely have a political conflict. I mean, Star Wars in very nature is a political thing. So, because all of it is built, by actual real-life people who will be influenced by something in their lives. That's how that works. So, bringing into real-life politics into a game like 6 Days in Fallujah makes sense, but not to the extent where you have to cancel or undermine a certain creative vision just because you don't like it. Or if a game wants to explore the dark and grey side of war, which war very much is, not to say that war is good or bad or anything, it's very bad, it's one of the worst conflicts ever to be created by humans, but it's not a black and white scenario. It's very much a grey scenario for all humans, for both sides of, shooting each other. So, remember that before you actually just say these stupid headlines just because you want to appease a certain demographic and you're a blogger and quote-unquote game journalist, and I use heavy quotation marks on that. And that's it. That's pretty much all I have for this video. It's very much people self-projecting, because a lot of these, especially these SJW crowds, I know a lot of them, and a lot of them admitted to being homophobic or racist in the past, and they're trying to atone for their sins. So that's why they do these stupid things. Well, atone for your sins in your own way, for yourself, because you bettered or worsened depend from what you view as a human. If you were a homophobic or a racist towards other people, that just made you a certain type of bully and a bad person. Now that you're doing this to atone for those sins, you're still a bully, but just of a different kind, and with different, arguments and, very different insults. So again, you went from a different type of retard to a different type of retard. So, stop that.
Stop it. Get some help.
And basically, canceling GTA because you can shoot innocent people is not a reason to be cancelled. It's the game that was designed and built. Also, stop bringing politics into it. Have fun with the game. Like canceling The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and CD Projekt Red for not having enough black people in it. Also, let's mention that for a quickie and I'll be out. It was developed by a Polish developer and it was based on Eastern European culture and folklore, based on Eastern European writer on Eastern European folklore books, the Witcher series. I know I'm one of those. I'm not Polish. I'm Bosnian, but that's part of our culture as well, because it's also Eastern European. It's not to an extent that it's completely a Polish culture, but it has undertones in our areas of it, and we're also considered to be Eastern European. So there's a reason why those stories are like that. There's a reason why there's not a lot of black people in it, because 90% of the demographic are white people here. So you can't literally bring your politics and the culture you grew up in and force it onto another person, and who's specifically not from your culture, who has different views on life. That's not how that works. That's censorship, my guy. That's censorship. And it's also very not nice of you to censor other cultures just because you might disagree with them and you got your pennies in a twist. So that's all I have to say. And when I do see The Witcher's show on Netflix having a lot of black people, but it's claiming to be based on actual lore and folklore on what was representative in those books and in what Polish folklore is, that's also pretty false, and it makes me cringe. It's not. It's just Americanizing, or doing more of American politics in somewhere where it doesn't belong. Use appropriate politics for appropriate products. That's what I'm trying to say here. Don't just say 6 Days in Fallujah is going to be Islamophobic. It's not. It's not going to cause any of that. It's not going to represent any of that, I'm guessing, in the actual game. Just because it supports the Marines which, by the way, are people that definitely should be supported from the hell they went through in any form, not just this one particular instance, all of the instances. So that's it, all I have for this video, zombies. And if you did enjoy this video, be sure to show your support by leaving that like button, by sharing this video around, by commenting your opinions and your views and everything down below. Keep it peaceful, keep it respectful. I will definitely respond with my comments and what my opinions and takes are. So if you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to show your support. That'll mean a lot to me. And if you didn't, I don't know, I guess you can dislike the video if you want. It's your opinion. See you next video, zombie internet. I'm the last Gambit. Subscribe, turn on notifications, check out my Instagram, this case Discord server, but you know I'm on it, so in the description below. See you next video, everyone, and bye.